Good afternoon, I'm Milton Walker with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. There's been one more death linked to COVID-19, a 61-year-old female of St. James who had multiple underlying conditions. This pushes the number of COVID-19 deaths to 76. Meanwhile, there are 126 new positive cases of the virus in Jamaica for a total of 5,395. 3,792 are active cases. 119 persons are in hospital, with 7 being critically ill, and 31 being moderately ill. And we learned this morning that President of the Court of Appeal, Dennis Morrison, has tested positive for COVID-19. Mr. Morrison is reportedly in isolation at his home. There are reports too that at least one police personnel close to his security detail is quarantining at home while waiting to be tested. According to the Gleaner, the respected jurist is in good spirits and is not displaying any signs of the respiratory ailment. There's been a 10% reduction in serious crime so far this year compared to last year. The figures for January 1 to September 19 were released in the JCF Serious Crimes Report. Herman Green reports.
According to the JCF Statistics and Information Management Unit report of serious crimes, to include murder, shooting, rape, robbery and break-ins, reports fell from 4,076 in 2019 to 3,657 in 2020. Of the 19 police divisions, 7 recorded increases in murder, 11 had smaller numbers, while 1 had the same number as last year. Among the divisions with increases, Western Kingston with a 40% increase from 49 to 69. St. Mary, an increase of 53% from 15 in 2019 to 23 in 2020. St. Catherine North from 69 to 84, a 21% jump. St. Anne from 33 in 2019 to 50 this year, a 51% increase, and St. Elizabeth from 20 to 24, a 20% increase. The largest decreases were in Clarendon from 103 last year to 65 this year, a 37% decline, Westmoreland from 63 to 50, Trelawney from 20 to 16, and St. Catherine South from 99 to 77. Portland had 8 homicides, the same number as last year. Overall, murders are down 4.6% from 962 to 918. Shootings were also down in a number of divisions. In Clarendon, the count moved from 72 to 53 for the period, falling by 26%. From 37 to 25 in Manchester, a decline of 32%. The numbers, however, increased in the St. Andrew North Division from 38 to 58, a 52% rise. There was an overall decrease in the number of rape reports. However, there were sharp increases in some divisions. St. Anne recorded 3 last year, but jumped to 13 this year, a 333% increase. There was a 41% increase in Hanover, a 52% increase in Clarendon, and an increase of 20 and 40% in Trelawney and Westmoreland respectively. Robberies and break-ins saw an overall decrease of 11 and 21% across the island respectively.
2 men were shot and injured in 2 separate incidents on Tulip Lane and 4th Street in Kingston last night. It's understood that about 9:15 rival gangs traded bullets on 4th Street, resulting from an ongoing war between the Sox and Brooklyn gangs. 1 man was shot during that incident. Meanwhile, a 16-year-old boy was also shot and injured in a shootout on Tulip Lane. He is currently in hospital under police guard. The mayor of Montego Bay, Leroy Williams, says candidates in the September 3 general election who are yet to remove their campaign posters from public spaces will be fined effective today. Posters and flags were used as part of their campaigning activities. In an interview with TVJ News, Mr. Williams says the candidates were given an ultimatum to remove the items by September 21.
In my release, they were given an ultimatum to remove the paraphernalia. If that is not done, then the candidates will be fined, and the fine will be punitive. I cannot say at this moment how much it's going to be, but they will be fined.
To date, some candidates have failed to remove their flags in sections of the parish. Therefore, Mr. Williams has ordered the municipal police to take note of those candidates. He says he will be using the Anti-Litter Act as a guide for prosecution.
The municipal police will be ordered or given the duty to take down those flags and posters. But once they have done that, the persons who had them there will be fined.
People's National Party Youth Organization PNP-YO President Crystal Tomlinson has rebuffed criticisms over a letter which the group wrote to PNP President Dr. Peter Phillips, urging him to resign within 30 days. In a letter dated September 14, the PNP-YO said Dr. Phillips should give a firm date for his resignation. Ms. Tomlinson stated that in light of the September 3 defeat, the PNP must urgently change or die. She's now responded to the backlash which the letter caused. In a post on her Instagram page yesterday, Ms. Tomlinson said the letter was based on the views of members of the youth organization.
The views contained in the letter and those recommendations came out of consultation with the PNP-YO's National Council. 100 persons were engaged in a survey, and through that survey we were able to glean the views and the position of young people on what we must do now to move forward. As president of the PNP-YO, part of my task is to share those views in as authentic a way as possible, and I will continue to do that.
Ms. Tomlinson said she will not back down from the PNP-YO's position outlined in the letter to Dr. Phillips.
Part of doing that means that my name will be upfront, squarely in the crosshairs, for accountability on those views. Collective responsibility matters to me, and it's a principle that underpins my own leadership journey and my leadership style. And so I will not back away from the criticisms that have come, but I want it to be made abundantly clear that this is not or should not be made a crystal issue.
Former Energy Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley has been partially successful in his application for judicial review of aspects of the Integrity Commission's special report on Petrojam in relation to some of its conclusions. His attorney, Chuck Cameron, says he has received some of the orders he sought and is now considering pursuing the matter further. Dr. Wheatley had taken serious issue with the report published by the Integrity Commission, which drew adverse conclusions about his involvement in the Petrojam scandal. Among other things, Dr. Wheatley sought to have the court declare that the findings and recommendations against him were invalid, and in order for the Director of Investigation to recommend to the Integrity Commission that he be publicly exonerated of allegations concerning impropriety and nepotism. Mr. Cameron told TVJ News that the court accepted some of the arguments made, and the team is now exploring its options.
So the court did not give Dr. Wheatley permission to review the decision of the investigator. It, however, told Dr. Wheatley that he can proceed with the other declarations that were sought. We have not yet received the written decision, and upon receipt of the written decision, we will review the reasons for the court's judgment and make a determination as to whether or not we're going to appeal the decision.
We take a break now on Midday News. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Continuing the news. Teachers and other support staff at private schools are set to benefit from financial assistance from the government. The help is to come in time for when schools reopen on October 5.
The request to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Sector for salary support for independent schools has been approved. Based on the submission, all teachers will receive a one-off payment of $40,000 and support staff will receive a one-off payment of $10,000. The payment is being processed.
Some private institutions have had to shut their doors after taking financial hits due to the fallout from COVID-19. Private schools primarily depend on school fees to survive. However, many parents have withdrawn their children or have refused to pay the full fees due to the switch from face-to-face learning to online. Children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison says investigators have received crucial information which should help them locate the toddler who was seen in a video smoking a cigarette and drinking what appeared to be alcohol. In an update to TVJ News last night, the children's advocate said the probe is now at a sensitive stage.
We have been making all efforts to locate the child and also the adults in the video, or somebody who is at least associated with the making of that video. We have made some headway. As you know, the Office of the Children's Advocate always takes these matters very seriously. And my Director of Investigations and the team, in fact, went into a particular community that we think will have some answers for us. We will continue with those efforts tomorrow.
The Child Protection and Family Services Agency and the Cybercrimes Unit have also launched a probe into the video which was posted on social media. The toddler is seen with a cigarette in his hands, attempting to smoke it. Adult voices are heard encouraging him to puff and praising him for making the attempt. The St. James Health Department has been active in its efforts to prevent an upsurge of dengue fever and other mosquito-borne illnesses. There has been an increase in the population of the Aedes aegypti mosquito due to the daily rainfall in western Jamaica over the past few weeks. Parish Manager for St. James Public Health Lennox Wallace says rainfall has resulted in an increase in settled water across the parish.
We are assiduously working to treat those areas and to ensure that the mosquito breeding does not increase. We would have increased our fogging. Over the last 3 or 4 months, we were just doing evening fogging. Now we are doing at 5 a.m. fogging. And what we are seeing is increased results, and the complaints are fewer than we would have had.
Meanwhile, as part of efforts to protect vulnerable groups, particularly the elderly, Mr. Wallace says the Type 5 health centre has been adopting measures to encourage the elderly not to leave their homes. Type 5 health centres are comprehensive health centres located only in urban areas.
Our pharmacy, we would have been taking the drugs to their homes instead of having them coming out. So on a Tuesday, we visit the different health districts. We have enough transportation to take the drugs to them so that they remain in home and we take the services to them.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
In the next edition of the Health Report, we'll look at fibroids.
Fibroids can occur in anyone, first of all, but we have recognized that it is more common in Black persons as compared to Caucasians or in any other race. That's one. 2, it is more common to see it in the reproductive age. So you tend to see it popping up in the 20s, 30s, more so than in the 40s and 50s. If you see it in the 40s and 50s, it's highly likely that it was there from before. Fibroids are unlikely to form in the postmenopausal period. So it is usually in the reproductive age that you see the persons presenting with it.
That's the Health Report this evening in Primetime News. And now for today's healthy living tip. Cut back on alcohol, balance estrogen levels, lower blood pressure, and get enough vitamin D.
In news from overseas, the number of COVID-19 infections recorded in Latin America is showing no signs of slowing down. Argentina and Brazil are seeing some of the biggest spikes as Mexico's infection rate continues to climb.
On Tuesday, the Pan American Health Organization reported that across 14 countries in the Americas, more than 450 pregnant women have died as a result of COVID-19. Mexico sits atop that list with 140 deaths recorded so far. Brazil is in second with 135 deaths. The United States has recorded 44 deaths of pregnant women due to this virus. The Pan American Health Organization says, quote, recently published results and studies based on COVID-19 surveillance data have indicated an increased risk among pregnant women of presenting with severe forms of COVID-19 and therefore of being hospitalized and admitted to intensive care units. We get that information as we know that many countries in this region are still really dealing with severe effects of this pandemic. Take Argentina, for example, where you see the 7-day moving average of both newly confirmed cases and newly confirmed deaths. Those two numbers are amongst the highest that they have been in Argentina since this pandemic began.
National junior shot put record holder Kevin Nedrick, who has been charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct in the United States, at the start of his trial pushed back when he appeared in the Hennepin County District Court in Minnesota yesterday. Spencer Darlington reports.
TVJ Sports understands that the trial judge ruled that all conditions of bail remain the same for the former national junior representative. Erwin Clare, CEO of Team Jamaica Bickle, the organization which provides assistance to Jamaican and Caribbean athletes in the diaspora, gave TVJ Sports an update.
Kevin would have gone to court today, and the proceedings were put off until the 28th of October, as the attorneys weren't prepared for court today. Good news, as it provides us an opportunity to put in place a proper representation for him.
The 21-year-old Nedrick had made his first court appearance on August 26 to face a charge of third-degree criminal sexual conduct in connection with allegations that he overpowered a woman and assaulted her. In court on Tuesday, Nedrick was represented by public defender Atif Khan.
He is quite guarded in the whole situation. He's still concerned, but his spirits are still up. We are going to do everything we can on our side to ensure that whatever resources and support we can give him is made available to him.
TVJ Sports reached out to the public defender, who said he could not comment publicly due to the fact that the case is ongoing. In the meantime, Clare says Team Jamaica Bickle will now expedite the process to render all the necessary assistance to Nedrick. The former Petersfield High School standout was arrested and charged in the wee hours of August 25 for allegedly assaulting the woman in her campus apartment at the University of Minnesota after celebrating the 21st birthday for the woman's roommate the previous night. A statement from the University of Minnesota at the time of the alleged incident said Nedrick is suspended from team activity, and federal and state laws that govern private student information prevent the university from sharing further details at the time. Nedrick, who represented Jamaica at the 2016 Under-20 World Athletics Championships, transferred to the University of Minnesota from Barton Community College last season. The hearing on October 28 is set to start at 9 a.m.
And that's the midday news. I'm Milton Walker. Join us at 7 for primetime news on behalf of the news, sports and production teams. Good afternoon.